I've been thinking about this for a while, and the more I look into it and the more I look at it, the clearer it gets. Supply chain is the backbone of the economy. Everything moves through it: goods, services, jobs, pricing, growth. But if we are really being honest, supply chain leadership hasn't been institutionalized yet. We have leadership for money, we have leadership for labor, we have leadership for trade, but there is no consistent voice for the system that connects all of it. And that's a problem. And now let's be clear, because this always comes up. Yes, trade is an aspect of the supply chain, but trade is not the entire supply chain. Trade operates at the border. Supply chain performance is determined everywhere else: production, logistics, inventory, workforce capabilities, data visibility, risk. When leaders stop at trade, they miss the system. And yes, there are supply chain associations, they do important work, educate, certifications, standards, but associations support the profession. They don't translate into economics, leadership, workforce policy, or governance at scale. This is why decisions get made that sound good on paper, but break things in reality. Costs move up, lead time stretch, inventory piles up or disappears, customers feel it, consumers feel it, companies feel it, not because trade failed, but because the system wasn't designed or led as a system. And this is where the opportunity actually is. Organizations are starting to realize that their supply chains were built for a different era. Digital transformation isn't optional anymore. It's the next operating layer. Visibility, risk sensing, decision speed, resilience. People are going to need help. If you understand how a supply chain operates today, and you know how to digitally transform that supply chain, and you can communicate why supply chain is the backbone of the economy, you're not limited to operations anymore. You can speak to economic development. You can speak to workforce skills and readiness. And you can speak to inflation, resilience, and competitiveness. You can build organizations. You can build companies. You can build help. You can help shape institutions that don't exist yet. That's real leverage. I think supply chain professionals need to start seeing themselves differently, not as people who move things, not just people who operate in the background, but as system leaders. Because if supply chain is the backbone of the economy, then people will understand who should have the voice in the economy and how that economy is designed. The institutional voice for supply chain hasn't been built yet. And that's not a weakness, that's an opportunity. And here are the facts. I refer today: report shows US logistics activity, physical movement, and flow of goods accounts for nearly 9% of our national GDP, with transportation and warehousing making up over 3%. Research also notes that supply chains are moving quickly towards digital transformation. These documents show how the economy actually operates. So, supply chain is the backbone of our economy. So, I want supply chain professionals and logistic leaders to start thinking of themselves as that, as system thinkers, as system leaders. Because if you can speak to these different areas of the supply chain, your opportunities are unlimited. You can go into building companies, you can go into public policy, you can go and build these institutions. So If you're considering going into the supply chain profession, or you're considering looking to find your next opportunity, I definitely consider you look into the supply chain and how that digital transformation will affect the supply chain.